In this video, we'll be giving Christmas a horror spin, so stick around if you want something spooky and festive. The name Krampus came from the German word krampen, meaning claw, and he doesn't belong to a specific country. However, he is a cold mountain creature, and Krampus is the wicked companion to St. Nicholas or Santa Claus. So parents would scare their kids into better behavior by warning them that Krampus was coming for them. He's a popular Christmas tradition in southern Germany, in Austria, in Hungary, Slovenia, and the Czech Republic. Traditions associated with Krampus vary from region to region, and they even vary from town to town. He's half goat and half demon. Some say that he's half man, half demon. He's often depicted with a long pointed tongue, sharp teeth, and he's covered in dark fur. He also wears chains and bells. Legend says that he's a beast, he's an evil spirit, a Christmas devil, but he is definitely a scary sight. He carries a switch that's plucked from a birch tree, or he carries a broom that he uses on misbehaving children. He also uses a chain to drag the really bad children into his sack to be hauled off to his lair to be tortured or eaten. He and Santa are like good cop, bad cop. Santa gives gifts to the good kids and Krampus punishes the naughty ones. To some, he is like a combination of Halloween and Christmas. Christmas is all merry and bright, while Halloween can get pretty dark and spooky. And some people just are not into the mushy jolliness, and the Krampus legend taps into a macabre interest that a lot of people have. I'd rather watch a Christmas horror movie anytime over the mushy ones that are on Lifetime. The night before St. Nicholas' feast is known as Krampus Night, and that is December the 5th. The next day, December 5th, is St. Nicholas Day, when children look outside their door to see if Santa left a gift in the shoe or the boot that they left out the night before. And kids that misbehaved were giving a lump of coal, and Krampus would be paying them a visit. The costumes vary in detail, but they usually consist of fur, large horns, sharp teeth, a demonic or scary looking mask, cloven hooves, chains, bells, and there's also a broom or a bundle of sticks that are used as a switch. Sometimes he has a bag or a basket on his back that he uses to snatch up bad children. The bells are an extremely important part of the costume because they create a sense of anticipation before you even get a chance to see the Krampus that are coming into sight. Now, there is something called a Krampus procession, and it consisted of hundreds of people in elaborate costumes. They would stomp the streets, scaring people, and they would be chasing people and flogging whoever crossed their path. In these parades, Krampus will hit you if you're close enough to them. Krampus parades aren't something just from the past. They actually happen in present time. They say that he aims for the legs and it only stings for a moment, but others have reported seeing some pretty bad floggings of legs that left people in some serious pain. And they are particularly brutal to anybody that taunts them or tries to retaliate. Krampus parties have made their way to American cities like Washington, D.C. and New Orleans. Obviously, there isn't one going on this year because of COVID. But if you do decide to attend one of these parades, make sure that you avoid the front row and make sure that you avoid eye contact with any of the Krampus. There aren't any rules and you could get hurt, so be careful. And if you have a fireplace, make sure to keep the fire hot, because if you don't, Krampus may pay you a visit. In Norway, after eating Christmas Eve dinner, it's time to hide the brooms. Legend says that Christmas Eve brings with it the arrival of evil spirits and witches. So in many Norwegian households, they will hide their brooms to prevent them from being stolen or used by an evil entity. In Ukraine, many people will put spiderweb ornaments on their Christmas tree. A spider in your Christmas tree is thought to bring good luck. According to the legend, a poor widow and her children took care of a tree all year in the hope that they would get to decorate it when Christmas arrived. Unfortunately, they couldn't afford to decorate it, and on Christmas Eve, some of the spiders overheard the lady's children crying themselves to sleep. And the spiders spent all night waving their webs on the Christmas tree, and when the morning sun hit the spider webs, they turned to silver and gold, and the family was never poor again. This one is based on one of my favorite Tales from the Dark Side episodes. The short story differs a little bit from the episode that was shown on TV. The episode is Seasons of Belief, and it goes like this. A family is at home during a snowstorm and they're having an old-fashioned Christmas just like the one on Christmas Vacation. The kids aren't really feeling it and they're bored because they want to watch TV, but the dad says no. So they ask their dad to tell them a story that they haven't heard before. The parents seem to have this need to exaggerate and turn explanations into tall tales. So the dad starts talking about the North Pole, and so the kids start complaining and assuming that he's just going to tell them another boring Santa story. But he isn't. He starts telling them about the most fearsome, dangerous, and appalling creature in the world. And this creature is so scary that even saying its name out loud can get you killed, so the dad writes it out. It can always hear when its name is spoken because its ears get a little bit bigger every time someone says its name. It gets its name from its preferred method of killing by grithering in or crushing. The kids don't believe their dad, so they start laughing and playing around and saying its name anyway. So the father goes on to tell them that it lives inside of a wrecked ship in a deep, dark, wet cave on the opposite side of the North Pole from Santa Claus. He was born on a ship that got lost in the Arctic, and the ship drifted for weeks, but the passengers didn't see anything except icebergs and glaciers. And some of the passengers drowned, some froze to death, and some committed suicide. So the grifter was born out of rage. He's described like this. He's tall as a poplar, but he can bend all the way over and touch the ground, the father said. His skin is very, very white, and all the blue and red veins show through, and the blue is for fear, and the red is for rage. And once he hears his name spoken, he sets off to find the person that said it, and then he kills them. There's only one Grither on the planet, and he thinks that he's so special to ever even be mentioned. The mom tells them that now they've said his name too many times and his ears are bigger than ever, and worst of all, it now knows where they live. But it'll be a little while before it gets there. The little girl gets really scared because the lights start blinking and the storm shutters start banging loudly, and her brother keeps being a jerk and keeps saying the creature's name. He says that the Grither is probably just Bigfoot. The mother says by now his ears are so big that he can use them as wings. The parents tell them that you can hear him coming because he sings a song about himself. So the mom's brother shows up in a big fur coat with his hood over his face, and he's singing the Grither's song. He's trying to scare the kids. A few seconds later, the real Grither busts through their living room windows with its gigantic arms that are full of veins, and it snaps the mother and the father's necks.